Chandler, who was born in the United States, brought up in England, and then returned to the U.S. as an adult. He was in oil, he was an accountant. When he created Philip Marlowe, he created a tough guy detective who actually had a soft middle. He walks down mean streets, but he is not mean. In the 1980s, Powers Boothe starred as Philip Marlowe in a series for cable television. It's set in Los Angeles, but it was shot in England and then later in Canada. It's well done for the time. The photography is clean, it's not moody, it's not noir, but it's good enough for what it's trying to do. The characterization of Marlowe by Powers Boothe is the real draw here. He captures the character, the mix of tough guy, but also he actually has a heart of gold, and he doesn't hide it. Which is why, as much as I like The Long Goodbye, it's a real betrayal of the character, especially the ending. Again, which I like the ending, but it's not Marlowe, as Chandler wrote him. But the series adapts a bunch of the short stories, some of which were merged to make the Philip Marlowe novels. So if you can find a cheap copy of Philip Marlowe Private Eye, also called Chandlertown in some versions, you should grab a hold of it because it's the most accurate Marlowe on film. Even though it's a little too clean, the reason to seek it out really is Powers Boothe. Earlier Philip Marlowes, like Dick Powell, tried to be tougher than they were, whereas Powers Boothe looks tough. He looks like he's going to break your head open. So for him to be softer, you know it's not coming from a place of weakness. This guy can pretty much handle what comes at him. So the real suspense in these stories happens when we see his angle. There's an episode involving a friend of his who is killed at the beginning of the episode. The real suspense comes from as much whodunit as, is this going to lead to something that will expose his friend as not being such a great guy? He's on edge through the whole episode, like, how much am I going to find that might spoil my view of this guy? Chandler wanted to write serious novels, but never did, because he had bills to pay. Philip Marlowe Private Eye deserves to be looked at again. If you find it in an affordable edition, check out Philip Marlowe Private Eye with Powers Boothe. Thanks for stopping by, and bundle up, or as someone once said to me, the frost is on the pumpkin.